Tricia and welcome to my channel. This is Sunday night and I'm going to be making some dinner, but I'm actually going to have my husband make this for us. I'm sort of teaching him how to cook. He knows how to cook. I'm just showing him, you know, different ingredients that you can put together to create a meal. So he's going to be doing this while I'm talking through it. He doesn't want to be in the video, so all you're going to do is see his hands chopping up stuff and putting things together. I don't know what to call this yet. I'm going to be using some chicken thighs, a little bit of Fideo, and a seasoning mix that both of us created, and we use it as a rub on a brisket, and we really liked it. So we're going to go ahead and put it into this chicken dinner. I'm also going to be making a little dessert, and that's going to be some pears with walnut and honey, and that's going to be baked. So let me show you what the ingredients are going to be, and then we can get to cooking. All right, so my first ingredient is going to be these chicken thighs. It's a packet of 6, and they're skin and bone. You can decide that you want to remove the skin if you want. These already have a Texas style barbecue seasoning rubbed on them, but I'm going to go ahead and add the other ingredients. So you can just use some regular thighs that have not been seasoned and then season them as I'm going to do, or you know, get yourself a little barbecue seasoning packet if you want to do that. Okay, so besides that, I am going to be using some of this Fideo or vermicelli. It's just a little tiny little pasta. It's almost like broken up angel hair pasta, or like, you know, something very thin. Okay, I'm going to be using a can of diced tomatoes. This is a 14.5 ounce or 411 grams. Just petite diced tomatoes. This is a Texas sweet onion, but it's a little small one. I'm going to use the whole thing. And I'm going to use these little mini peppers. You can use bell pepper if you want. Just use 1 bell pepper. Or if you like a lot of it, put 2. We might use a little bit more than this, but this is what I grabbed. I got some red one, yellow, and orange, but you can use whatever color you want. If you just want to put green in there, just use green. I'm going to be using some cilantro also at the very end. We may use this avocado. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so I'm also going to be using a cube of chicken bouillon and 2 cups of water, and I'm going to break this up in there, mix it up, see if that works. If not, I'll throw it into the pan. My seasoning mix is going to have garlic powder. It's going to have some salt in it. This is turmeric, black pepper. I'm also going to be using some cumin, which I haven't gotten out, but I'm going to go ahead and grab it in just a moment. I'm going to be using some paprika that I have here. Actually, this is chili powder and some paprika right in here. Okay, and then we've got a little bread here that we can toast up as well. I'll probably put some butter in that. Let me grab that cumin before I forget. Ground cumin. And I'll show you the measurements in that in a minute. For my dessert, we are going to be using 2 bosc pears like that. We're going to need some honey, some ground cinnamon, and we're going to be using some walnuts, and I'll probably chop these up a little bit more. Okay, so let's get to cooking. All right, everyone, so my husband's going to go ahead and chop up the peppers and the onion and a little bit of cilantro to get that ready. And while he's doing that, I'm going to prep the spices so I can tell you the measurements. You're just going to cut them up. If you want to cut them up in little slices like that, or if you want to cut them smaller into little cubes, and the same with the onion. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so for the seasoning, we did some salt, and it was about a teaspoon of salt. You can adjust it to depending on how much you're making in your own taste. And I'm going to do the same with the pepper. And then we added some cumin in there. This is a brand new packet. I should have prepared it ahead of time. Yeah, leave this thing part here. And there we go. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon of that as well. I guess it's a little bit more. Okay, so then some tumeric. This is about a half teaspoon measurement, so I'm going to do twice to get a teaspoon on there. I think I'm going to want 1.5 of that. That's some good stuff. This is chili powder. If you don't care for chili powder, you don't have to add it, but I'll just let you know that it does add really nice flavor. And if you use a little bit, it's not going to give it like a spicy, hot, you know, burning your mouth kind of flavor. It's just going to give it a nice, I don't know what the word is. I guess it's smoky or warm or just really good and hearty flavor. Plus it gives it a really nice color to what you're cooking. Okay, the paprika also kind of serves sort of like giving it a color, but I'm also going to use it because I like the smokiness of paprika. So about, again, 1.5 of that as well. And I think I used a teaspoon of that. You can use a teaspoon and a half. Okay, so now I want some garlic powder, and I love garlic powder. So I'm going to actually use, yeah, he does too. That's his little sign for that. Okay, half a tablespoon of garlic powder. We're going to do like a little bit more, so another teaspoon. You just adjust this to your taste. So I'm going to mix this up and see how this looks. And then we'll decide, well, maybe we want some more. And the reason that I'm making this separately is because we're going to be touching chicken. And we don't have to rub it into the chicken. We can just sprinkle it on there. But if you mix your whatever seasonings you want to use separately in a little bowl, then you don't have to be washing your hands between grabbing, you know, handling your chicken. And you can season it and touch it, turn it around. And when you know whatever's in this little bowl, you're going to use it. So just for that. Or just, you know, make a big amount and save it for different, you know, recipes, and just grab a little bit for your particular meal. Okay, I think this is pretty good and well combined. So those are my seasonings. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare the stuff that I need for my dessert. Wow, he's still going to be cutting up that onion, so I'm going to do that. I'm not going to use this board. Use this. It's the same way. Just chop it up however you want. I'm going to chop up some walnuts first. To put in, I don't know how many to chop up, so I'm just going to do a little bit. A handful. Well, that was like a couple of handfuls. That's probably anywhere from half a cup to 3/4 cup. Oops. Try not to get it everywhere, like I just did. I think the best thing to do is put it into a little baggie and then just pound it with something. The usual way that we do it.
So these are half, is that fine, or you want?
Let's use the whole thing.
Do the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. It's
no,
small.
I mean, smaller?
Oh no, yeah, I see what you're saying. That's fine. I meant like the whole thing, like the whole onion.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because it's a little onion, it's like half of a big onion, or I like onion. Okay, we're gonna keep chopping here, and I'll be back to the next little step. All right, my husband's already chopped up the peppers, the onions, and all the cilantro, so you can see how he chopped that up really nice. Now he's gonna season the leg thighs. There you go, with all that nice seasoning, as much as he wants to use. He can turn it over and season it again. I'm gonna prepare these pears. I need to put my oven at 350. There we go, get it started. So the recipe calls for you to cut these pears in half. And then we take a spoon and scoop out this little part here where all the little seeds are. So we're gonna get that out. And I'm just using a regular spoon. Just like that, just hollow it out. It also says that on the back here to cut a little bit, just to make it flat so that it rests flat on the in your pan. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, we're gonna hollow this one out and then do the other pear. You want to turn them over and do the other side of them?
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if I need to cut this part, but I'm just doing it.
I can smell that.
We're going to use olive oil to cook this chicken. You can use vegetable oil or whatever oil you like to use, avocado oil, or I'm just going to put that in there like that. I don't think I need to do that little cut in the back because my little bowl is nice and tight here. Okay, get that little bit out of there. That also makes like a little home here to add in our walnuts. Maybe I do need to do that one because it kind of wants to flip on me. There, it stays nice. Okay, so now we gotta take these walnuts, put them in their little reservoir. Put those in there. I'm gonna sprinkle the rest of them kind of like all over, like that, because that's kind of like the way it looked in the picture. I don't remember which site I got this from, but I did save, I bookmarked it, so oops, I'm putting a lot of cinnamon. That's okay. Okay, so sprinkle some cinnamon. I'll link where I got this recipe from. Okay, you want to wash your hands, and then we'll get to the next stage in a little bit. Oh boy, I can't pull this out, so I'll use my little knife again. And then I'm just going to drizzle this honey over it, and then I'm going to put it in my 350-degree oven. And it says to bake for 30 minutes. There we go, nice drizzle. Let me show you how that looks close up before I put it in the oven. Just like that. Here's the thighs that he seasoned up. Look really nice and seasoned. Okay, so we'll be back when we get this cooking, and then I'll put this in the oven as soon as it is hot. All right, everyone, we decided to do this on the counter here with this induction cooker. So we're just adding some oil to the bottom of the pan, just enough to kind of coat it and let it... No, I think that's good. It's about a tablespoon. That's good. Okay, so I've got it on high right now because I want this to get hot. So as soon as this oil is hot, my husband's going to start putting the chicken in there. We're going to be putting it skin side down. It's 6 pieces of thigh meat, and this is kind of a small pan, so they're going to be crowded in there, but that's fine. So just when you do it, make sure you use a nice big pan. Okay? All right. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and cut this little bread and then slice it open because I want to make some, I think, some cheesy garlic bread. We still don't know what to call this meal. So we might come up with something before the end of the video, and then I'll name it, but I don't know. You guys can come up with a better idea. Let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to put some butter, and this is unsalted butter that I'm using.
Okay, so like this the sides?
Yeah, just squeeze them together in there.
Okay.
You want to melt the butter and then pour it on your bread. I think that's probably a better deal. But I think I mentioned that I got rid of my microwave, and now that I got rid of it, I'm finding that I need it, so I'm going to have to look for one. Okay, we're going to let this chicken on the skin side down to cook about 4 minutes. We'll know that it's ready because right now, if you try to move it around, it'll stick to the bottom of the pan. But we'll know it's ready when it comes off easily And that's when we'll turn it. If it took a little bit longer, we'll let you know how much that took. All I'm doing with this bread is putting the butter on there, and then I'm sprinkling it with garlic powder again, or granulated garlic. This is not a salt. You can add salt if you want. And then I'm just going to put them on a little piece of foil. You can put them in a little pan. Put them in the oven, let them toast up. I'm going to put them in there with the pears right now, since it's already at 350, but I'll probably pull these out 5-7 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on them because I don't want my bread to burn. Oh, and I'm also, okay, I wanted to put some cheddar cheese, but I didn't have any, so just use whatever little cheese you want, or just make it a toasty garlic bread like that. I'm going to put some goat cheese, just because we want to see how this is going to come out. Just to taste it like that. I think it's going to be good. Okay, so just a few little sprinkles. This is going to go in the oven, like I said, 5 to 7 minutes, just so our bread is nice and toasted. We'll take that out, and we'll come back so we can check on our chicken. All right, everyone, my pears are smelling really good in the oven, and I've got the bread toasting. My husband's going to check this now and see if he can turn them. It's actually been about 5 minutes or so. Oh, they look so nice. I'm going to pick one up and look at this. So you can see what it looks like. Just pick it up to the... Right there, so you can see how that's looking. That's the skin getting all nice and crisp. So now he's just turning them over so the meaty side and the bones, where the bone is, will start to cook. And this is going to take longer than 4 minutes, everyone, but we're going to check it in about 4 minutes, see how it's going. We want this chicken to be fully cooked before we add any of the other ingredients. So that's what we're doing, and of course we will let you know how long it has taken for it to be fully cooked. But we're going to cover it up also, and just keep checking it. Okay. All right, everyone, it's been about 7 minutes. We're going to go ahead and check our chicken. By the way, I did lower the temperature. I had it on a high when I was cooking the whole time, but I lowered it down to sort of a medium high. So we're going to go ahead and check the chicken. We're going to cut into it a little bit just to look inside and see how that looks. That's cooking really well. It's not even pink anymore. But we're going to leave it a few more minutes. We're going to cover it up, leave it another 5 minutes, and I think that'll be good.
Should I flip it?
No, just leave it. You want the, we can flip it in another minute or two. Okay, guys, we'll be back. All right, everyone, I just wanted to show you. I pulled out my little toast from the oven. It was in there about 7 minutes, and it's nice and crunchy, but it's not too toasty. I think it's going to be perfectly good the way it is. My pears are still in the oven. They need about another 11 minutes. And they smell so good when I open it up. I've never had the pears. I've never baked them like that. I've eaten the bosc pears, you know, just raw, but I've never baked them, so I don't know how they're going to turn out. But it did say 30 minutes in the recipe, so I'm just going according to that. Our chicken is also doing really well. So we'll be back as soon as this chicken is fully cooked. All right, everyone, we're going to go and take the chicken out. It has cooked for another 15 minutes is what it's been in there for. Actually, yeah. So the first 4 or 5 minutes, I think we did 5 minutes, and then 15. That was about 20 minutes. We just wanted to make sure those thighs were cooked. So we're going to go ahead and pull them out and put them on this tray. Now, because we used chicken thighs with the skin and the bone really has nothing to do with it. The skin rendered a lot of fat in our pan. So we're actually going to drain some of that out and just leave enough in there so we can saute our onions and our bell pepper. That looks so good. And the pears are almost done. They got about 41 seconds in the oven. I'm just going to turn it off, and I'm going to go ahead and just leave them there because I kind of want them to get like really soft. Okay, we're going to be back because we're going to drain some of this oil out. Okay, we drained out all the oil. Actually, some of the little burnt crummies in there. You like them? Go ahead and leave them in there. But it's got very little oil in there now. just enough. If you don't want that oil, you can just drain it all and just put some fresh olive oil, because we're going to saute the bell peppers and the onions. And this is still at a kind of a medium to high heat. You can lower it down to medium. Now you can go ahead and season this again, but we have a lot of seasoning in our chicken and we still have a little bit left over. So we may add some to this onions and bell pepper, although this has a lot of flavor in it. And we didn't drain all the fat. A little bit of fat that's in there has a lot of flavor in there as well. But if you're going to use a fresh oil, or let's say you didn't use the skin on the chicken and you really don't have very much fat to work with, you could add a little bit more, and then you can season it up a little bit just so that the onions and the bell peppers get some flavor in them. Okay, we're going to saute them just so the onions are translucent. Right now they're still white, and we want those little bell peppers to get, you know, a little soft. So then we'll be back. All right, our onions look pretty translucent. Let's pick some up and put it to the viewers. Yeah, there you go. All right, there we go. We just wanted you to see them, but I think you get the idea. I'll pick this up a little bit so you can see. A little closer. Okay, it's only taking a few minutes for them to saute. Maybe a couple of minutes at the most. Okay, I'm going to drop this chicken bouillon. I wanted to put it in the water, dissolve it, but then I remember the last time that I tried doing that, it didn't dissolve. It just, because it's a little cube and it's kind of like stuck together. But if you use like the dry one, the one in the powder form, you could do that. Or just use some chicken broth if you have some. Okay, we're just going to drop these in there and mix it around with the onions and the bell pepper to break it up a little bit more. Okay, if you like a lot of pasta or lots of, this is vermicelli or Fideo, depending on how much you're making, you can use the whole bag. For my husband and I, I'm only going to pour about half of this little bag, because it's quite a bit and we don't need to have too much of it left over. I know I cooked 6 chicken thighs, but these would be nice to make some chicken salad for tomorrow. But I don't need leftover Fideo. So we're just going to put about half a bag in there. And we're going to let them toast up a little bit. I think that's good. We're going to let them toast up a little bit in that.
Stir?
Yeah, just stir, keep stirring it, and then give it a chance to, for the little Fideo to toast up, and then we'll stir it up again. Getting it all nice and coated with that fat that was in there. Fideo doesn't take long to cook at all. Once it's toasted, and that only takes a couple of minutes, we're going to put our chicken back in there, but we're going to put our tomato sauce and mix it in there really well, and then we're going to put our chicken and add our water to it, and we're just going to cover it up, and that's just going to take maybe 5 minutes, 7 maybe at the most, for that Fideo to be cooked. And then we're going to sprinkle the cilantro that he also chopped up right here. Now, if you don't like cilantro, you can leave that out, but I think you should put it in.
Good. Looks good.
Looks good?
Looks good.
Okay, let's put these tomatoes in there carefully
Okay.
so it doesn't splatter. Yeah, the whole thing. And just mix them around real good. Let's have a little bit of flavor. Just have a little bit of flavor because we still have a little bit of the seasoning left over. And I can't use it because we touched the chicken, so I can only use it now because it's cooking. So that'll be okay. Okay, so now what he's going to do is I'm just going to lay the chicken thighs on top of this Fideo. Let's clean that off. Just lay them on top. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you lay them in there. Look at all the, I don't know if you can see this, but I'll show you in a minute. Okay. Our pan, although fat that's still dripped out of those thighs. If you don't want to have something like that, like I said, use skinless, or you can use chicken breast, but it's not going to take that long to cook, because you know chicken breast doesn't take long at all. Okay, honey, we can also pour this seasoning in there. That's just from the little crumb from the chicken. Okay, we're going to pour this water in there. That's 2 cups of water, or if you have chicken broth, 2 cups of chicken broth. That's nice. Okay, so now we're just going to cover it up and let it simmer in there for, like I said, 5-7 minutes. And we'll be back and check our fideo, and it should be ready, but we're going to check it, and I'm going to pull out those pears out of the oven so you can see what that looks like. Okay. All right, everyone, I am just checking this to see if the fideo has cooked. And it has. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the cilantro into our dish. That looks really pretty. I'm going to save some of this for the very last when I put it on my platter for presentation. And I'm just going to leave it uncovered so some of that water will render down a little bit. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple more minutes. I'm actually pulling out some of this chicken onto a little plate here in the front so I can get some of this fideo out of here and put it on my platter over here. This is done, everyone. Now you could serve it like this, kind of as a little soup in a little bowl if you wish. It would be absolutely delicious. Or you could let it drain out a little bit and serve it on a platter. I'm going to put some on here just so that you can see how delicious that looks. And put some of these pieces of chicken right next to it. Look at that delicious looking chicken and fideo, and we decided, or at least I decided, that this is going to be called Texas spiced or Texas seasoned chicken thighs in a fideo. And let me show you, oops, this is very hot. Let me get my little towels. Let me show you, because I was grabbing it and it is super hot. The pears. Those are out of the oven, looking delicious. And I showed you the bread. So I'm going to serve this up, see what my husband thinks, and I shall be back. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and serve myself some of this so we can give it a nice taste. A little bit of that fideo, a piece of chicken thigh here. I've already gone ahead and I've served my husband, and I removed the skin off for him. A little bit of more cilantro sprinkled on top. Why not? So let's give this a taste.
That's good. That's real good.
Mm-hmm.
I give it a thumbs up.
Gotta try that fideo.
That's good.
It's very nice. Okay, I'm gonna serve myself a little bit of the pear, the dessert, because we want to taste that. I actually would like to serve this with some ice cream. So I think that if you take it out nice and hot out of the oven, put a little scoop of vanilla ice cream on it, or whatever your favorite flavor is. But I think vanilla would work the best with it, so you don't change the flavors too much on it.
The chicken is delicious.
Chicken's delicious, he said. How's the bread, honey? Nice and crunchy? Yep, he's biting into it. It's nice and crunchy. Okay, I'm gonna... I think that I would have liked this pear to be a little bit mushier. But I'm picking some up. A little walnut.
A little on my bread.
Mmm. Honey, you don't want to try the pear? See what you think?
Delicious.
You heard him.
The cilantro on the bread with the feta cheese.
Oh yeah, I didn't even taste that. I need to save this for later, guys. Let me continue with my chicken here. Got the bread with the feta cheese here. Let me cut it so I can make sure I get some of that feta cheese. It's nice. It adds a little bit of saltiness that it didn't have. So there you go. You don't have to add any salt if you put any feta cheese on there. My husband's trying it. He's putting the fideo and the cilantro on the piece of bread. You know your Mexican caprese salad, but with goat cheese and fideo and tomatoes and cilantro. Okay. He gave me a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. He's saying two big old thumbs up. Make sure you give me a big old thumbs up. Leave a nice comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, make sure you hit that little notification bell. This is so good, you guys. I'm so hungry. We've been waiting to eat this, and we want to see our show, Game of Thrones. I don't know if you guys watch it. Let me know down there in your comments if you also watch Game of Thrones. If you don't, that's fine. But anyway, hit that little notification bell. I make videos every Tuesday and every Friday, and I've been trying to throw in a little vlog in there also. He's doing the happy dance, everybody. A little happy dance if you see David Venable on QVC. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, everybody, share your social medias. And as always, let me hold up the little pear. Enjoy. Cut.
That's good. The chicken is moist, and if you like dip into the sauce here with.
I should have said I've given us a big old thumbs up.